You ever have a moment where something you thought you understood suddenly changes once you ask people about it? Well, that's something that happened to me very recently. I've been fortunate enough to be able to help over 1,300 families move here to the Destin, Florida area, and it had me wondering, why this area? Why now? Why us specifically? So I went out and asked 50 people. Families, military members, singles, couples, and even some retirees. Why exactly did you decide to move to the Destin, Florida area? And honestly, some of the answers surprised even me. I thought I knew exactly what these answers were going to be, but it caught me completely off guard. So today I'll be sharing with you the real reasons why people move here. The emotional stuff, the practical stuff, and even some of the funny stuff. And I'm even going to quote some of the things that these folks have said after they've already gotten settled in. This was by far the most common answer. It wasn't the beach, it wasn't the weather, and it wasn't the tax situation. It was lifestyle. People told me things like, we wanted life to slow down, or I didn't realize how tired I was until I got here. Or I wanted a place where I could actually live, not just commute, work, and repeat. In fact, one family said they were doing everything right on paper. They had the big house, they had good jobs, a busy social life, but something just felt completely off. They were exhausted all the time, and they were missing dinner with their kids. Everything felt rushed. Then they spent 1 week on vacation here in the Destin area, and suddenly they were like, oh, this is what peace feels like. And look, I'm not even going to pretend that the Destin area is going to solve everybody's problems, but what I will say is it does tend to slow down the nervous system a little bit. You tend to breathe a little easier, we sleep a little bit deeper, and we feel like we're not so behind all the time. What I learned is people weren't running towards something glamorous. In most cases, they were running away from the noise. They just wanted something a little simpler. The second most common answer was the water, not the beach, but specifically the water. Here's a few things that people said. I just wanted to wake up and see blue. I needed a peaceful place to paddleboard after work. And we wanted our kids to grow up around nature, not around concrete. And it wasn't always dramatic. Some people wanted a place to walk by the water in the mornings. Or my favorite, and the one I hear most often, is enjoy their morning coffee while staring and listening to the waves. Or throw in a fishing line after a long day. Or even sit on a dock and remember exactly what silence sounds like. And honestly, I completely get it. There's something about the Gulf, the color, the clarity, something that just resets the brain a little bit. Heck, even locals that have lived here for years and years and years, me included, still think about it and still comment about it. I drive over these bridges every single day and look at these waters every single day. And I'll tell you this, I've been here almost 20 years, hasn't gotten old a single time. But at the end of the day, people aren't moving here just for the views. They're moving here for the calm that comes with them. This next theme came up way more than I expected. People were escaping chaos, Atlanta traffic, Dallas burnout, Chicago winters, and Nashville's cost of living, and New Jersey's property taxes that could fund a small nation. One guy told me, I absolutely loved Atlanta, but I didn't love sitting in my car for 3 hours a day, listening to podcasts about how to reduce stress. Well, fair enough. Another couple from Chicago said, we love our city, but we're done shoveling snow. At this point, we'd rather sweat. And then someone from Nashville said, we got tired of feeling like our mortgage payment was competing with our other bills. This wasn't about people suddenly wanting a beach life. This was about people wanting a life that didn't feel like a constant grind. And the Destin, Florida area, to them, felt like an exhale. Another big category was families. Parents told me things like, I want my kids to be able to ride their bikes in the neighborhood again. I want to feel safe letting them run outside. Or I want a neighborhood where the neighbors wave. And I thought this one was funny because every area that I've lived in this area, because I've lived in multiple of the cities here in the Destin, Florida area, every single one I've lived in a neighborhood where that was commonplace. You drive by each other, you wave. You see each other, you wave. Like, that's just part of it. And I can't even imagine living in a place that wasn't like that. But it did seem to come up quite a lot. And when I was talking to these parents, there were certain cities that kept coming up over and over. Niceville, for instance, came up a ton. Gulf Breeze, Navarre, even Shalimar. These areas aren't flashy, they're just comfortable. One of the mothers told me that her young child made 2 friends pretty quickly in the neighborhood within the first day, and they've been hanging out pretty regularly for the last couple of years. and that she should have done this years ago. And it wasn't about perfection, it was about connection. It was about slower mornings, sandy feet, less driving, more living. And I'll be honest, when families move here, the transformation is actually noticeable. People relax. Kids go outside and play more, and the parents, they don't feel like they're constantly sprinting after something all the time. And it's not magic either, it's just the pace of life we have here in the Destin area. And something else that completely surprised me, when we talked to a bunch of military families that were stationed at either Eglin or Hobart, Dukefield, 7th Special Forces, or the Naval Air Station, they all said something very similar. We came here for our orders, or we came here because the military made us, but we stayed here because it felt like home. One family told me, we planned on being here for just 2 to 3 years, but now we're 5 years in, my husband just retired, and we are not going anywhere. And another said, after seeing the housing costs in California, where we're from, yeah, we're gonna stay here forever. Military families talked about a few things over and over. The theme kept coming up of how much they valued the community, the safety of the area, the lifestyle, the ability to buy a home without sacrificing sanity, the beaches, and one that I thought was particularly pinpointed was they were grateful for a slower life during an otherwise high stressful time of their life. And honestly, the Destin area is one of those assignments that you get where it doesn't just feel like you're taking orders, it feels like you're coming home. And I'm a prime example of this. The military moved me here in 2006, 2007, somewhere in that realm. I don't remember the exact month that I was here because I was in training for a while. But my point is, they moved me here. I stayed here my entire 8-year career. And when I decided to get out to pursue real estate, I had a choice. The military would have moved me anywhere in the country that I wanted to within reason. And I could have just gone there and started a new life. But I just couldn't leave the Destin area. Everything about this place just feels like home to me. At the end of the day, the entire Emerald Coast, Destin, Florida area just feels like the kind of place that you want to plant your roots. Now, retirees and second home buyers, their answers had a completely different flavor. They weren't chasing jobs or school, they were chasing quality of life. The people that I spoke to said things like, we wanted a place that felt peaceful. We needed sunshine for our joy and our joints. I did have to adjust that one just a little bit. We didn't want to feel like we're aging in a crowded city. And there was one couple that told me something I'm probably never going to forget because I think it sums this up perfectly. Destin isn't perfect, but Destin feels like home. And I think that's the theme right there. People don't come here because of the hype. People come here for that feeling. After 50 conversations, one thing stood out above everything else. People don't stay here for the beaches, or the sunsets, or the restaurants, or even the shopping. They stay because they feel better here, better emotionally, better mentally, better physically. One person told me, I didn't realize how stressed I was until after that stress melted away and I was here at the beach. People stay because life feels gentler and kinder and more human. And after hearing all of these different stories, I think that sums up what living in the Destin, Florida area is really all about. It's not all about palm trees and postcard beaches. It's about finding a life that feels like yours. So if you're even thinking about moving here, whether it's lifestyle for families, to retire, to get a second home, or because the military is giving you orders, either way, I'd love to help. My team and I are working with families every single day for people that want to move anywhere from Pensacola to Panama City Beach. If that sounds like you, all of my information will pop up and my team would be happy to help. And if you've already moved here, I want you to go down into the comments and answer a question that so many people that are watching are going to want to know. What made you move to the Destin area? And this is the whole area, not just the city of Destin. What made you move here? And are you happy with your choice? I would genuinely love to hear your story. I appreciate you guys watching. We do these videos every single week, Tuesday at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll see you guys on the next one.